good morning on this glorious Friday morning in spring on the Northern Rivers. Today is actually would have been my grand's 100th birthday. There you go. My other grand, my grand that's still alive is already 100. She was 100 in January. So I'm just doing my admin stuff inside. So I'm just bringing Jenni up to panelist. So I'll let her do the introductions and I will do the other little bits in the background. And all my little admin jobs. Good morning, Jenni. How are you?
Good morning. I'm really well. How are you today?
Great. I'll let you do intros while I'm just doing some admin.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I love your glasses. They're my favorite things about your new glasses. Before we start the intros, hello everyone who's joining us on Zoom today, and who'll be joining us on Facebook. I'm Jenni Walke from Elephant in the Room Consulting, and this is my digital BFF, Kylie Mowbray-Allen from Hello Media, and we're here for bite-sized conversations, which I'm so excited. It is my favorite day of the week.
Me too, Jenni. It's very good to see you. And I'm excited that we've just done something fresh and have an earlier time today.
I know, and it's just a little bit different, trying to, have to juggle lots of things, and sometimes we just need to do this. And really what I'm doing for you, Kylie, is preparing you and myself for daylight saving, because that's coming in 3 weeks' time, and that will be 8:15 for me going forward. So we're just doing a little bit of warm-up, that's all.
No, I think it's great. And I've got lots going on behind the scenes myself, so it was totally cool to do this.
I just have to say your hair is fabulous today. Have you had it done again? Because it is fabulous.
So we got out of lockdown on the weekend, and my life couldn't really get out of lockdown because my husband's wheelchair is broken.
Oh no.
There's no sign of it being fixed anytime soon. The technician in our area has left the area. And
you should laugh, but gosh almighty.
Oh, I know. Parts have to get ordered from the States. It's just a debacle. So he's stuck in bed while that's going on. So anyway, I thought, oh, bummer. But then I thought I've still got to do a bit of self-care. So one day I went off and got a massage, and the other day I went off, not actually with the intention of a haircut. I was off to get a pedicure. And next minute I was getting a wash and blow wave.
I love it. Well, it looks.
And I have made it last, Jenni.
I'm impressed how well you made. Mine lasts like a day, and then the next day it's kind of. I even if I put dry shampoo in, it does not look that good. So,
so I thought, can I get through the week with it? That would be very exciting.
Well, it definitely has. It's actually looking fabulous.
I do love straight hair, I have to be honest, but we always want the opposite of what we've got, really, don't we?
I've been drying my hair straight since I was 16, so I don't think my hair knows what it looks like. I've literally been drying my hair with a round brush and a hairdryer since I maybe 16 or 17, since I learned how to do it. So I don't actually know what my hair naturally looks like, and I don't think it really knows either. So it's just trained into submission now.
Good on you, though, for being disciplined with your zhuzhing. I'm just more of a scrunch and go. And
it's about efficiency, right? I've got it down, and I joked with people, it takes me 7 minutes to dry my hair straight. So, and with a round brush, it doesn't take me, it used to take me hours, but now I know exactly how to do it. It takes 7 minutes and I'm in and out. So I can plan my morning around, getting ready in 10 minutes and I'm done. So I kind of love that little bit, because it just gives me that, it doesn't matter how bad I'm feeling, I can dry my hair and feel amazing. And today I'm putting it up just because I felt like I'd do something different. But it just makes it easy.
Good on you.
So today we're talking about we're talking about the value of marketing today, which I'm really excited about.
So am I, Jenni, and I'm going to start off with asking you a few questions.
Oh, okay. I have some for you too.
We're going to make it about me for a moment, because what a poignant topic we're looking at today, my word. So Jenni, do you think that I like Facebook?
Do you think that you like Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think anyone really likes Facebook, to be perfectly honest. No, I actually, having met you, I actually think Facebook, and this is how I would describe it, is I don't think you really like Facebook. You just know it's a tool that you need to be on, and it's a tool that you use for your business. So it's an important aspect of that. So you're on it because of that. if you weren't in the marketing business doing digital marketing, I think you'd probably be like Clover and just be like quite happy in a slow movement and not on Facebook.
Well, actually, the opposite is true. I love Facebook. And whenever I'm running a Facebook course or talking with people about Facebook that are super, super negative, I'm like, actually, Facebook is amazing. So I got onto Facebook when it first came into, I've got to press go live. Thank you. Honey just gave me a little reminder. So whoa, hang on. I've just done the wrong button.
And for those who are joining us today, if you have any questions about about marketing on Facebook or on Zoom, make sure you pop it in the chat. Even the Facebook chat, we've got an amazing team who lets us know if you have any questions in the Facebook chat, as well as we do on the Zoom call.
So Jenni, our topic of the day is the value of marketing. And it's a very, very poignant topic because some stuff has gone down. So I want to start by saying I'm the first one to put my hand up and say, I love Facebook. And these are all the reasons why. And when I'm talking with people and teaching Facebook and how to, businesses can use it better for their business, but also for people on a personal level, I always give the example or the story of how I began with Facebook. So 14 years ago, Facebook was pretty new in Australia. Very, very few people were on it. And that was exactly when my husband broke his neck. It was April 14 years ago. And I had to move up to Brisbane with our 4-year-old daughter because he was going to be a year in hospital. And we started our very new, interesting life. And it was very interesting before that. It was just interesting in a completely different way.
Definitely.
What I found incredibly difficult after all day, every day at the hospital, 7 days a week, was that in the evenings, so our daughter would have dinner with her dad, hang out for a little bit, and then we would leave and I'd come home and, bath and put her to bed. Then I found myself in a very difficult predicament because I needed a little bit of de-stress time. I needed a little bit of share with a girlfriend or someone. And, I was exhausted. I didn't want to get on the phone to friends and family. And I just had nothing really left in me for talking, but everybody wanted to know what was going on. So along came Facebook. I quickly jumped on, got all my friends and family in different parts of the world to also join. And also very quickly, I learned that connecting with friends and family on there is amazing. Being able to share stories, being able to share his recovery. Well, there wasn't recovery, but his journey with that and how he was going. Being able to share photos of us still having great times and a great life and all that was so important for not just me, but for so many people. And I very quickly started my first Facebook group, which was spinal cord injury, quadriplegia. And now there are thousands and thousands of people in it from all over the world sharing their experiences and their tips and equipment things and, all that other kind of stuff. As I just mentioned earlier, he's stuck in bed at the moment for the last week because of a broken wheelchair. So there's a whole lot of things that go on in our lives that, that other people aren't really aware of. So it's a really great place to share, etc. So that was the journey for me on a personal level. And a couple of years later, I realized, I started my first, not my first business, but that business. Then I realized what a wonderful tool it was going to be. And I was there in the heyday of business Facebook. We were able to grow our accounts really well. If somebody followed you, they actually saw all your posts. Like there was before Facebook ads. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
Instagram came along, embraced that. So it's been quite a journey. So while others have a love-hate relationship with Facebook, I have a love-love. Also, that I run a not-for-profit organization with my husband.
Yes.
And just recently I've been on the radio and I won this award and all kinds of things for it. And whenever anyone asks me how I do it, and particularly when I was being interviewed on the ABC, and I said, the thing is, it's so easy to run one of these kind of not-for-profits because we run the whole thing through a Facebook group. We have over 400 volunteers in there, blah, blah, blah. People private message me when they need help, and then out it goes. So when I was banned from Facebook last night, and I appealed the decision, and they've come back to me this morning with, no, that's final.
You're banned from Facebook?
Yeah. And so our topic, value of marketing, even though we can talk about other aspects of marketing, digital marketing, and particularly Facebook. And you know what? I just had a discovery call with someone yesterday who said, no, for my business, I'm B2B. I'm not going to use Facebook. I'm just sticking with LinkedIn. And I said, the thing about Facebook, though, is that even if you're not using if you're a big corporate company, et cetera, CEO, whatever, you may not think that you need to use Facebook for your company, but you're on there personally. So you're still on it. So you've still got amazing ways to connect with other people in a B2B space. So I was really, really selling it.
LinkedIn and Facebook are so merged now. The people, there's people on both, and, articles on LinkedIn and the conversational LinkedIn blends over, as you said, into Facebook now anyway. So even if you're talking personal or business, you're doing it both. The platforms are no longer don't have the same distinction and demarcation that they used to have, I don't believe. And I know there's that kind of push about, moving to LinkedIn Learning and LinkedIn blogs and other things like that to create almost a greater opportunity to share your message in long form. But you still want to share it on Facebook because people find you on Facebook and then investigate you on LinkedIn, or vice versa.
That's right. That's so right. But also, you never know who you're going to meet in a cooking group on Facebook.
No, that's right. Yeah.
You never know who you're going to meet in a parenting group on Facebook. And
then you're actually not on Facebook today.
Not at all. And it doesn't look like I will ever have that account back. So I've had a very interesting morning and a very interesting evening. And I'm not too concerned about any of the business stuff because my team can all access all of our accounts and all of that. But for me, it's my spinal cord injury Facebook group that I run. It's been going for 14 years. It's my not-for-profit group that I run, where we feed people in need. There's so many other parts of Facebook that are so important to me. And I just feel like of all the people...
Can you not access any of those groups now?
No, I literally am banned from Facebook. I can't even set up another Facebook account.
Yeah, but so no one else can, all those groups, what happens to those groups?
Well, I just have to go through their incredibly long and laborious process of getting in touch with someone who's in it and saying, can you please put this message out for me, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
yeah. So
insane, isn't it?
It's very interesting. And I know why it's happened. Well, I'm 99% sure why it's happened. And I thought, what a great time to be able to talk about this topic.
I'd love to know what that is. Why has it happened?
Because I have knowingly, I knew right at the very beginning when I did it, gone against their community standards. And that is given my team access to my personal account. Which thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of us do when we have VAs and content managers and all other kinds of people in our business, because that's what we do. And sure enough, I had a warning about a week ago. And so I said, okay, team. So, we had this other account that they can use for that. So I said, okay, team, let's stop with that. But I need to also say, I don't post about, topics that are highly inflammatory. I don't do anything other than teach people how to use it better. And, really, I'm just blown away. But the most frustrating thing is there's no appeal process for me now. And also, they've said that I can download my content, but both on desktop and on phone, I'm absolutely unable to. So
how can you download your content then?
It just comes up as a thing when you get banned that you can save a file of your content. So 14 years of content. But Jenni, so many people I know, and I do this too, have put photos up, particularly when our kids were little. Yeah. And that's the only place that those photos are. And
one of my those photos?
At this point, no. One of my favorite things about Facebook is Facebook memories. And every morning, the first thing I do is get a little screenshot of that memory that comes up and send it to my husband and daughter, because generally it's a cute photo of her when she was 6 or...
I'm speechless today. I think the topic is no longer the value of marketing. The topic actually today is about the fact that how do they make these decisions? Because we know that businesses, there are so many places, and you and I have been in programs and we see people who don't post on their personal page. They're not managing their own personal account. So how have they singled out you when you have all this other incredible programming? You're actually promoting their groups. You're promoting Facebook. So you're promoting all these things.
I'm a pretty big fan, you could say.
So how am I able to have this conversation with you today? Because it's going onto your Hello Media page, but not on your personal page.
Yes, but normally it goes onto my personal page as well.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty extraordinary.
I'm like so flawed right now. I actually have
I know. So
but
a warning to you all with people that have other people that access your accounts on just logging into your personal. Obviously, if it's, someone's an admin on your business page, this is completely irrelevant. It's about giving your password to your team so that they can access your account. And as I said,
what are they doing in audit at the moment? So what are they going around and just checking everyone to see where people are logging into their personal account?
I presume it's just AI just scanning along, and then I just happen to be picked from random, or I don't know, but very, 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 very disappointing and frustrating. And funny enough, I ran an email marketing masterclass on Wednesday, and I was reminding everybody, you don't own your socials. So you don't own your anything other than your email database. Yeah. Yes, you own your website, but really only if you've coded it to yourself. Otherwise, realistically, it's all out there owned by other people. So the importance of growing your email database, the importance of making sure that you've got other alternative ways to contact people. And I always say that to people, and yet sure enough, it has happened.
So how does this impact with Instagram? So Instagram is still okay?
I just posted on Instagram today, yes, indeed, in my stories. And I said, who has this happened to? Because I'm trying to be pretty chill about it and go, you know what? Maybe it's just time for a little Facebook break. But the truth is, there's those other things like my not-for-profits and stuff that I run. So I think what I wanted to talk about in terms of the value of marketing and this particular issue that's just happened, excuse me, sucking away on my lozenge I started losing my voice last night, and I thought, I hope it's back by the morning. It's not good, is it, when you talk for a living? But so in terms of the value of marketing is, are we putting all our eggs in one basket? Or are we really spreading our wings and finding the right avenues for us? And even if you think, actually, Facebook's the only one for me, or like the woman yesterday, LinkedIn's the only one for me. What happens when you get shut down or the whole platform disappears or whatever? What are you going to do? So making sure that you're looking at all your options for marketing and finding ways that you can reach your desired audience or dream clients or whatever it is that you want to in more ways than just one.
But it's also remembering that marketing is not just about digital marketing. And if you take back to what marketing's about that is brand awareness. It's getting people to know you exist and your product exists. So I always ask the question, why do you only want to tell one group of people about who you are? Why do you not want to tell them on every possible platform, every possible way that you can? Because that's what brand awareness is. That's what success looks like from a marketing perspective, is everybody knows your name. And unless you're talking to everybody in every location that they're at for your client pool, then you're not going to actually have that full brand awareness that you're looking for. I mean, imagine if one of the biggest brands that we know, let's pick a shoe brand. I love Nike. My partner loves Yeezy. So imagine if they only promoted on Instagram, so no one else knew about them unless they were on Instagram. It's going to be a niche product. It'll be really cool for a while, but eventually the people are going to say, well, I'm not on Instagram, so I don't know that exists. And there's going to be a cap on that sale. So but as soon as they go onto another platform, it would blow up again. But we can't, that idea of only being on a single platform is actually saying, I only want to tell this group of people about who I am and don't care about anyone else. And it's a really limiting way to look at marketing for your business.
Absolutely. So looking at all the options of how can people reach you. So for example, putting a postcard in to your package as you send it out, if you're an e-commerce business, and making sure that you're telling people follow me or tag me or give them a discount code, etc. So that's a physical thing that they can hold. Maybe printing magnets, maybe coming up with all kinds of different awesome little giveaways that you can do. I've got a client that's just made these awesome silk drawstring bags for her period underwear, that's her product, that you can store them in your knicker drawer. And, she can sell it or have it as a little giveaway, but it's well branded. So all of that is marketing. It's ways of getting your name and your brand out there, be seen without it necessarily being online. So you did right. Thinking of it as a whole is super important. I want to give you this great example of a situation.
Yeah.
So probably 6 months-ish ago, a business opened up in our main street here in Bangalore. I'm not going to name names, but they are a pizza restaurant. There was a lot of excitement because they, they covered all the windows as they were, getting prepared with brown paper, and you didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. Of course, we all knew a pizza oven was going in and all these things. It was all, a little bit of buzz around the town for something new. And as time grew closer, the Instagram account was just growing and growing as they were talking about, building it. It's apparently, I say apparently, it's an influencer that owns the business.
Okay.
So anyway, there was all this stuff going on around it, but very much mysterious. So then they opened, and you can't really see in properly. They've set it up like an old school Italian restaurant in a way, with lace curtains and, all that kind of thing. On the windows at the front, there's no phone number. There's no opening hours. There's no nothing like that.
That seems very odd.
Yes. If you want to book, you have to do it through a link on their Instagram bio. And then there's still no one that you can call. If you can't get a time, so they're open, for quite a few hours in the evening. If you can't get a time, you can go on a wait list, and then they will get in touch with you via Instagram or email to let you know that your spot's available and you can rush up and do it.
That sounds too much hard work. That sounds like a lot of hard work to have dinner. I'm just saying, like, really? Is that good?
Needless to say, I haven't been. But what I thought was really interesting is they're really relying on that one platform to get known, to create that, that
buzz.
That buzz around it, be that super cool kind of, well, their version of super cool, et cetera, et cetera. And it's really fascinating. And I've heard a few people talk about them, but not that many, surprisingly. But I've heard more people complain about them. And yes, apparently the food's good, but the frustration, they're like, at the end of the day, we're Bangalore, we're a tiny village. Like, when
people just want to drop in and go and have dinner. They don't want to have to go through that rigmarole to work out whether they're in or not.
It's just get a pizza. Yeah.
It's like they've opened a speakeasy pizza joint, and they only want certain people in there if they, if you have the right code and the right shoes on. But like,
that is exactly right.
And
so
that's okay.
Instagram.
But as a business coach, and I would be looking, going, do you not want to make money? Or is it like, because you're relying particularly on volume, because you want to go, okay, how many covers do we want a night? How many do we want to make a night? Our goal is to make that. And when you are in a small community, you want everybody to be buying from you. When there is competition, yes, it's a small community, but there will be competition around it. And so if you're making it difficult for people to find you and connect with you, and it's a really great wheel, because a lot of people don't even think about that those actions about not providing a phone number and having to go through that process is actually part of their marketing process. People think that's separate from marketing. And this is what I love about marketing when we have conversations about marketing, is it's not just about the pretty posts and the advertising that you do. It's everything that goes on from the time you decide you're going to sell something to the time that someone buys, and then after that as well. All that activity is part of the marketing process, but we just kind of think it's separate. And that's what I find a lot of the challenge. Oh, we'll work about the pricing later. I'll work about the process later. It doesn't matter. We've got a great product and I'll put an ad out. That's only like 5% of the actual process, isn't it?
Absolutely. And like what happened with me as of last night, what happens if their Instagram account gets banned or
hacked, which happens all the time?
Yes, absolutely. And then they can't even get bookings that evening. It's done.
Yeah, so crazy.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
So when we're thinking about marketing, and we talk about digital marketing a lot, obviously, because it's the business that you're in, and I look at marketing as the whole process in terms of, because as the process bunny, how are you doing it and what does that look like and what's your pricing strategy and all those other things that goes into marketing. But if we think about marketing today, how has it changed over the last sort of 20 years, do you think, other than the digital, obviously the explosion of digital marketing opportunities, but how has it changed? Or has it changed at all? Or are we still doing the same things just differently?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because I've been in this industry long before, all of that existed. In fact, my first job when I was in England, we got email. It was a really, really, really big deal. It was very exciting. Dial up. Oh my goodness, I could email my dad in New Zealand rather than we would send faxes to each other. So I'd get in the morning and it would be waiting for me when I got into work. And then I'd send him one when I left work and it would be waiting for him when he got into work, for example. But the sad thing about faxes is that they would fade. And then, I can't read my dad's faxes anymore. So it's really interesting how quickly that has all changed. And that was when I was 21 and I'm 48 now. So it's not a very long time that our communication or way of communicating has changed so massively. So when I was in Sydney, I worked for the Australian Women's Weekly for ACP. And one full color ad back then was $60,000. So when we look at marketing and how that's changed, that to me is just the best example to give you, because now you can spend $60 on a Facebook ad or $60 on, on some Google AdWords, as opposed to 60,000. And you can absolutely track who, and this is to me the biggest change, Jenni, is that the tracking of who sees you, when they see you, how they've interacted with your ad, how long they spend on each page on your website, what it is they do, who they are, what their interests are, what their demographic, their age group, their sex, all of that kind of stuff. Whereas before you'd put that ad in the Women's Weekly, unless you had a little coupon in the corner that said, cut me out and take me into the shop and get you $5 off your perfume, which nobody did when they're spending that kind of money. Pretty much back then, it was very much about brand awareness. Today, it's definitely about brand awareness, but you've got so many more opportunities for what do you want to achieve with this marketing.
And I love that. So to me, it's that kind of spray and pray model that we used to do of, we'll get this big ad, we'll get the billboard, and they'll tell us how many people drove past it, and we'll assume that means everybody looked at it. And so it's that kind of it's the longbow metrics of looking at, well, 2,000 people saw it, so therefore they must have read it, they must have understood it, and they're now, but it's actually not what it's about. Whereas now we have that metrics ability to actually see ROI. And I think that to me is one of the biggest changes. And, we love a bit of data at our end too. And so being able to say, well, what am I getting out of it? What's the value? And where are those sales coming from? And I think one of the biggest changes for me is that understanding that marketing is no longer just brand awareness, it's actually sales. It's integral to the sales process. And it's not, yes, you have sales managers and you have marketing managers, but the role is so interlinked because it's the marketing guys that actually get the sales in the door. It's not the sales manager anymore. It's actually about who knows you, how you've told them, how are we connecting with it. And I think that's one of the biggest changes that I've seen recently.
Yes, I used to be the marketing manager for this water sports company. So they were the distributors for some really big brands in Australia here. So for Maris from Italy, for Decor from the States, and, a whole bunch of other stuff. They also had their own brand in terms of snorkel and mask and fins. And, they did wetsuits. Like, it was a massive, massive organization, company. And I was their marketing manager. So basically what that role involved back then was... and this is probably 19 years ago, I would say. So what it involved was you looking across the borders, how are we going to reach people? What do we need to do? So it would be things from, they had a lot of shops stocking their products. So we would, I would come up with these great ideas for how to display products in shops, how to, do sales, how to convey that to your audiences. We would run big, huge, once a year, have people come to the Marriott on the Gold Coast because they have that pool with the fish. Yeah. And so that people could, the suppliers and stuff could, their stockists could try out the dive equipment as it came in new from the Italy and that kind of thing. That was pretty amazing. But you can imagine the expense involved in that. It was a massive conference and they would pay for the whole thing. And people would come from all over the country. There would also be like, just our little advertising things. Where are we going to advertise? Which magazines, TV, radio, et cetera, et cetera. So deciding, here's your budget. Where are we going to go with that? Whereas marketing today, you can decide for this year, your marketing budget is zero. And what am I going to do with my zero budget? Loads. I can do organic marketing. I can go and get busy in Facebook groups. I could go and post on LinkedIn every day. I can create all my own graphics and put it out there. You can literally run your whole business on a zero marketing budget. Well, it's still your time.
It's phenomenal, isn't it? That thought is phenomenal.
Absolutely phenomenal. Whereas my marketing budget for that company was ginormous, absolutely ginormous. And I had to put in and show them at the beginning of each financial year the reason why I needed more money for the next year and where I was going to spend it. And it was very, very, very much data driven and quite inflexible. You know, unless if I had decided that at the beginning of the whole year, then that's what we were going to do. So these days, we can change it up on a daily basis. We can go, wow, that style of post is just not really resonating with my audience. I'm going to mix that up and I'm going to change it. Or actually, I'm going to stop my zero budget. I'm going to go with $30 and I'm going to put out my new course and I'm going to put $30 on it and see how it goes. So yeah, it's quite extraordinary. Those changes are absolutely massive, but also giving us so much more flexibility, giving us so much more flow, giving us so much more opportunity to truly reach our audience that we really, really want to be connecting with.
And it's also about accessibility. What you've just said then actually says that anybody can be a marketer and anybody can actually market their business. And what my takeaway from what you just said is that what's great is that if you really don't, if you're new in your startup and you're like, how am I going to get my brand out? If you spend an hour a day just doing your socials and have that in your diary, that's your marketing time, and you just do the socials or the email marketing or whatever you decide to do for 1 hour a day, rather than what we often do, which is I'll do my 3 or 4 posts and sit back and hope something happens. But if you were targeting for 1 hour a day with emails and posts and conversations and blogs and all those other things, just for 1 hour a day, it would have such a profound impact on the brand awareness, on your campaigns, and also on your sales, because you're actually going to connect straight away. And you can choose when you do that hour. It doesn't have to be 9 o'clock. It could be 10 o'clock at night. It could be 5 in the afternoon, whenever your clients are online. If you allocate that 1 hour, it's going to make such a difference. And it's now accessible to you. And the how-to guides that you get on Facebook, which is now dead to you, but on Facebook and others that, that have the how-to guides that show you how to maximize that marketing opportunity. That's what I also think is amazing. Information is accessible to people now on how to do it. So if they want to spend the time and they don't want to have the budget, or they don't have the budget yet, you can actually still market like get really good at marketing, because there's so many opportunities to learn how to.
Absolutely. So Jenni,
notwithstanding your masterclasses.
Yeah. So we specialize in organic marketing. And so I would say on average per year, we spend anywhere between $30 and $90 on Facebook ads per year.
Wow. Isn't that crazy?
So only when we're having a play around with something, and actually some years there's been up to $300. So I'm not saying that it's wrong, because you can most definitely do organic and paid, working together. But the main thing for me is when people come to me and say, my ads aren't working, and I'm like, okay, let's rewind a moment. What are you doing with your organic? And they're like, I don't post because I do ads. So actually, that's not helping your SEO at all. It's not helping you be found when people are Googling looking for something to do with your business, or that you provide, the way that you help people. So really, really important to nail that organic first, which literally means no budget. But you're right about spending that time each day. So there's a lot of people that don't want to do the marketing for their business, and that's totally fine. But at least make sure that you do, say, for example, 3 posts a week, schedule at the beginning of the week, and then off it goes. At least you've got a presence if people are trying to find you. But for those of you that really, really, really want to understand how it all works and get yourself out there and find those new customers, etc., then an hour a day is a great way to go.
And of course your masterclasses, which teach people how to do that from email marketing and Instagram and Facebook and all the different platforms, to show how you can maximize that and use those and build content that's engaging. So that's really exciting. So I realize what time it is now. So we probably should say, wrap up, because I think we could probably talk about marketing all day. But what we're talking about marketing in the programs that you're doing, particularly your masterclasses, how do people get access to your masterclasses?
Actually, we run them through our coaching program. So the bronze level and the silver level both have, the silver level and the gold level both have access to our 9 masterclasses each year. And otherwise we have the bronze coaching, which is the straight group coaching. So you can do that by going to our website. You can probably still do it by going to I shouldn't say probably, you can do it by going to our Facebook pages. So Hello Media, and also the group hellomedia.team. And I'm sure I'll be back in there in some way. I hope I hope for sure that I'll be able to set up a new account at some point. But at the
We can
moment,
DM you on Instagram. So we can find you on Instagram and go to your website and email you, or we can also DM you on Instagram too now, because you still have Instagram. So we can
That's right. So, which is funny because Facebook owned Instagram, but that's hellomedia.team on Instagram, and of course the same on LinkedIn, and Kylie Mowbray-Allen on LinkedIn. What about you, Jenni? How can we connect with you?
So at Elephant in the Room AU on Instagram and Facebook are my two favorite platforms. I've obviously still got my personal account, touch wood, but LinkedIn is also great. You can just type in Jenni Walke, Jenni with an I, Walk with an E, and you'll come up on LinkedIn. Otherwise, at Elephant in the Room AU, Instagram, Facebook, and of course we've also got our YouTube channels, yours and ours, where we share this information plus some other randomness. But yeah, lots of different places. So reach out, say hello.
Wonderful, Jenni. Thanks so much. And thanks for chatting with me today, because I was really excited to be able to share all of that. I was like, I cannot believe that topic just works so perfectly with what's just happened.
and it's an insane thing. Like what it says to us is that it does show the power of platforms like Facebook to really just on a whim shut you down and not providing you an opportunity to go back and re-engage them and talk about how you can actually get back on the platform is a little crazy. And so particularly with the groups that you're running and the charity groups that you're running, having access to that information and access to those groups is a community service. So it's, as you said, it's not like you're posting hate mail and other inappropriate stuff on your personal page. It seems ridiculous. So hopefully you'll get a chance to, have a conversation, and maybe if you keep talking to them and pest them enough, they'll change their mind, or they can actually just check out what you do there. Like, let's actually stop the AIs and actually have a human person who'll actually talk to you about it, hopefully. Well,
let's see. I'll keep you informed.
Thank you so much. Well, you take care. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I really appreciate it. We'll see you next Friday.
Thank you all. I look forward to it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.